What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into this video, I do want to give a nod to Polo Sports TV. He's the first one that I saw talking about breaking this story. And it is my sad duty to announce the passing of an American icon, the passing of one of the greatest actors cinema has ever seen, and the greatest trailblazer for Black Americans in cinematic history. Government officials in the Bahamas have announced that Sidney Poitier passed away yesterday evening at the age of 94. Um, I don't have enough time to really go into detail about how trailblazing he was and groundbreaking that he was when it came to Black Americans and how they were portrayed in film. Um, Before him, generally we were seen as and portrayed as subservient, uh, cooks, cleaners, porters, handymen, maybe the occasional milkman, um, often buffoonish, um, loud, cantankerous, just every stereotype you can think of. And then came Sidney Poitier, who refused to accept these types of roles and fought for dignity in the roles that he chose and proved that a black man can be something more than a footnote in a film, be something more than a walking laugh track, be something more than the disgusting stereotypes that were permeating throughout Hollywood at that time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the black actors that preceded him. They had to do what they had to do. It's easy for us in our self righteousness to sit back in 2022 and point the finger and hold up our nose and judge the actors that had to do what they had to do in the 30s and 40s. You know, um, but Sidney Poitier was a trailblazer. Now, I'm not reading off of anything. I'm just kind of just freelancing. Um, I know that he won an Oscar in 1963. Ooh, I can't think of the name of the movie. I think it's Lily something. I can't think of the name of the movie. The first thing I remember him, well, the oldest thing that I remember him being part of, I wasn't alive at the time, even though some people might think I was. I think it was the film adaptation of The Raisin in the Sun. I remember we used to watch that all the time in school, back when they used to cherish our histories in school. Um, you know, but that's another matter. Um, of course, the groundbreaking movie that he did was Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which was reworked as a more lighthearted comedy with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher. No knock on that film, but 1967 was the real deal. That film starred Sidney Poitier. Uh, it starred Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy in his final role. As a matter of fact, I believe Spencer Tracy died of a heart attack just 17 days after filming Wrapped of that movie. Um, but yeah, Sidney Poitier was great. He was Hollywood. He was Hollywood regality. I remember in the '70s, we had the black version of the Hope Bing movies. When I say Hope Bing, I mean um, those movies in the '40s and '50s that Bob Hope and Bing Crosby did. You know, the Road to movies, the Road to this, the Road to that. Of course, I remember, and we remember Sidney Poitier and Bing and Bill Cosby and Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, and I mean, piece of the action. It was okay. But I like the ones when Bill Cosby had the beard. Any of those movies where he had the beard, they were good. And interestingly enough, none of those movies were really sequels. They were all in each one of those movies was playing different characters. But yeah, Sidney Poitier, man, is just Hollywood royalty, man. And he influenced so many different actors. You could see the influence that he had on someone like Blair Underwood or obviously Denzel Washington, uh, Isaiah Washington. There's no actor, I would say, that came of age between the 70s and into the 90s that wasn't influenced by Sidney Poitier. And, Sidney Poitier also was a prominent figure in the civil rights movement in the 1960s, obviously. Um, but the thing about it, man, that era of Hollywood is coming to a close. All of those big stars from the 40s, 50s, even into the 60s, they're leaving the scene fast. You know, we lost Cicely Tyson uh, last year at the age of 96, almost a year ago. And I didn't do a video about this or comment about it, but director Peter Bogdanovich died yesterday at the age of 82. So a lot of those people who were huge stars, producers, actors in the 50s and 60s and 70s, even into the 70s. You gotta remember the 70s was 50 fucking years ago. 50 years ago. I remember being in school saying to myself, well, 1972 was only 15 years ago. And now that's 50 years ago. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. Those of you who remember Sidney Poitier, give me your thoughts.